So good afternoon class. In today's class we are going to discuss regarding the operator priority. Generally this can be discussed under the title of operator precedence also. Okay, the order of precedence. Okay, that means which operator has to be solved first, then which operator has to be solved. These things we have to know. So for that we have a table for this operator precedence details table. First, highest priority for the unary operators, next to the binary operators, next to the ternary operators. Next, you see here it is mentioned highest priority to highest precedence to the lowest precedence. So in the binary operators also, first which one has to be solved and later which has to be solved is also mentioned here. So in the operators we have also already seen logical operations and logical operators, relational operators, all of those. So here in the binary these are the unary operators. They all have same highest precedence. Okay, this is just not of scalar reduction and reduction and or nor XOR XNOR and plus and minus. Unary operators, you already, when you discussed regarding these unary operators, you also had this, right? So then, so first in the binary operators also, first or highest order of preference is for this multiplication and unknown values, and for the, if you use this, you are going to have denominator or numerator, sorry, coefficient or remainder, what you will be using.
మీరు ఎప్పటిలాగా ఏప్రిల్కి అయిపోతుంది అలా పెట్టుకోకండి. మీరు మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ఆగిపోయిందో మళ్ళీ ఆ నెల వచ్చేదాకా ఇలాగే జరుగుద్ది. మీరు సంవత్సరం
Okay, in the binary operators itself we have many categories. In that, this is the highest priority in the binary, this one is the highest priority in the binary operators itself. Next, right shift, left shifts, and equality operators. You know, later least priority is for the ternary operators, right? Okay, to understand this we have some examples. See here R is subtracted from Q and then S is added. Q minus R plus 1 means first you have to subtract R from Q, then you have to add S to the result. To identify those, what we can say is we can use brackets like this. We can use a bracket in between here and here. Even though if it is not mentioned also, first we have to go with subtraction, then go for the addition. So this operator precedence does not cause any ambiguity or change the results. Okay, if you don't know which one has to be solved first, then definitely you will be getting ambiguity, right? Now see here, it is mentioned that P is equal to Q minus R divided by S. First, what you have to do? So here, first divide operator is having highest precedence over the subtract. Okay, this is having highest priority than the subtract. So first I have to calculate for this. Okay, first I have to divide, then first I have to perform R by S, then I will get a value and I have to subtract that value from Q, right? First R will be divided by S and the result will be subtracted from the Q. Okay, in the division of q minus r, if you desire q minus r first, what you have to do? You have to keep braces, right? Q minus r, and the expression has to be recast like this. Q minus r will be calculated, and we will get a one value, and that value will be divided by s, right? Just before I have asked you a question, right? What is that? For you already remember the difference between using of percentage and backslash. If you use this, you will be considering only the coefficient. You will be considering only the coefficient without the decimal part. Okay. If you use percentage, it is called as modulus. It will be you getting to take the help. Take only the remainder. So generally, we used to find these questions, right? This type of questions. Say it's a lengthier expression. We should know this table exactly, right? First, even though first we have to take the help of multiplication, then division. So it has to be expressed like this. The operation is equivalent to the above expression. Operation is just equal to like this. First we have to perform the division is having the highest priority. Division is having highest priority, and multiplication is having next priority. Then addition and subtraction. Least will be the addition and subtraction. So A2 divided by A3 will be calculated first. Then A4 multiplied with A5 will be calculated. We will get one value, and we will get one another value here. We will have we can directly subtract this from A1. Then we will go for the addition, right? Okay, in subtraction and addition also we also have some precedence there. So adding of parentheses is giving us clarity which one has to be calculated, right? So here no ambiguity for us. There is no more number. There are no more number of variables. So first we have to calculate q minus r, and then we get a value, and we have to compare that value with the p, whether it is greater or not. So here the similar one, right? First we will add this p plus q, and then we will identify its relational operation, right? Greater than or lesser than, right? So this will be the helping us to identify these topics. So far what we have discussed will be helping us for regarding the operator precedence. Next, what is this bit widths of expression? That means you should know after performing so and so operation, what should be the bit width of the end result. Okay, for that purpose only we are learning this, right? So we are deciding, say operators decide the bit width of the result. Okay, like logical and non-logical ORs. Okay, so for that we also have a table here regarding this. So if you think this in the table A, B and C, in the table A, B and C represents the operands, OPR represents the operator. If OPR represents the operator and ABC represents the operand, we are deciding, that means we are thinking of the final output result, how many bits it will be having, right? So when we say that, when I say integer a or unsigned constant number a, how many bits it is taking, it is depending upon the compiler only. Okay, if I don't mention whether it is of 4 bit or 5 bit 6 bit like that, that means automatically it is compiler specific. So if we say sized constant number means it will be decided by the specific size what we have mentioned there. So if you have some operator for a, if this operator is an unary operator such as plus, minus or not, it will be having the same bit width of A, right? So for the unary operators, we have unary operators plus, minus and not, right? So what does this mean? This is to indicate whether it is a positive number or a negative number. Okay. And if I have some bits for A, if I use this, it will be negating the bits of A, right? That means automatically it will be having the same size. Okay. So its bit widths are given here. If it is of single bit, automatically it will be having one bit, right? A operator B, where operator is a logical operator. Okay. Logical operator, relational operator, equality operator, whatever it may be. A operator B. That means A and B means automatically bitwise and, right? 0, 0, it will be having an output of 0 only. That means it will be 1, right? Or and or greater than or lesser than the result. If it is greater means for the greater it will be having either 1 or 0. If the C greater than A plus B, like this. Are you able to understand or not? A operator B means here we are performing bitwise addition. When there are two, both are of single bit, automatically it is going, this result will also have a single bit width, right? So if A and B are, if the, here the operator, if the operator is arithmetic one, A plus B or A minus B, what we will do is if A and B are of same width means automatically the width will be same, or else if A and B are of different widths, if A is of highest width length means then that will be the result will be having that width. If B is the highest number of having highest number of bits means automatically the result will be having that many number of bits, right? So if A operator B, generally we say here A, capital A operator, small b we have used there. That means small b indicates how many number of shifts we have to do, right? A operator, that means either right shift or left shift of B. Small b means small b indicates that how many shifts we have to do. If the A is having any some 8 bits means automatically the result will also have 8 bits. The bits which are presented, if you indicate with right shift, it will be shifting right, and the remaining bits which are on the left side will be given zeros, right? So if it's a conditional operator, that is a ternary operator, C, if C is true, the value A has to go to C. If C is false, the value B has to go to C. That means C will be having a value out of which one is higher. That means if A is having more number of bits, the value the of C will be also having same amount of bits. If B is having more number of bits, the value of C will be having highest number of bits, right? So concatenation, you see here, this is concatenation. This thing you have to remember. So here the sum of the bits widths of all the operands, the sum of the bit widths of all the operands has to be identified and it has to be given. For the result, that many number of bits will be having. Okay. So if it is like this, so in this concatenation itself, if I am using, if it is having some n, say some p number of bits, the summation of all the operand, all the bits of this, all the operands is around p, and this n is the that many number of times, n times of that p is the that many number of bits are necessary here in total, right? Do you get now? This is just to know how many number of bits will be required or there, how many number of bits are present in the output side. That thing, to know that only we are using this. right? You got clarity, I think. So if I don't mention anything, if I mention integer a or unsigned constant number a, for example, then it is compiler specific. If my compiler is of 16-bit, it will be consuming 16 bits for each number, right? Okay. Sized constant number will be decided by the size what we have specified there. And we have unary operators. Okay. And also general operators, relational operators, logical operators, and equality operators. Okay, those are taking only single bits. If you have algebraic expressions, then which one is the highest one with that one will be considered. And if you have an operator a operator b with a shift operator, if a is having, if a has to be shifted, here it is actually we have already seen this right shift and left shift symbols. A operator, that's right shift or left shift, and we'll be using generally small b there. That means it has to be shifted that many number of bits, that it has to shift that many number of times, right? Here in this ternary operators, which one is higher, that one will be assigned. You have to be careful regarding this concatenation and also this concatenation. These many number of bits has to be used that this many number of times, right? So by that we are concluding the data flow styles. Okay, we have different examples for this data flow style also. You go through that, these all things. We have used this assign statement, right? We are using assign statement. You see here example. Okay, parameter d is having 4-bit of all of them are checks. F is a select vector. Okay, a is an 4-bit input vector, and a1, a2, a3, a4, they all are the 4-bit, each of 4-bit, and 4 varieties, right? Output vectors, they all are, right? So if f is this one, f is 0 0, the 2-bit binary 0 0, if this works good, f is equivalent to this, the value of a will be going to a1. If not, it has to, d has to go there, right? Likewise for the rest of the operations also, right? We also have ring counter. Okay, triggered flip flops are also available, right? We don't concentrate on those very much, but you just see that once. Okay, so whether we conclude this data flow modeling style, right? We go with the exercises, right? And in the next classes